All right. Welcome to the Money Down. I'm James White, along with Warren Herring, Sojourn Shelton, all former Badgers. Definitely excited here to be here tonight. Thank you to the Nitty Gritty and the VC Connect to help, and Brian Mason for help putting this all together. Yeah. It's gonna be a great night. We're gonna talk about what it's like to be a Badger, what it means for us, why this place is so special. Gonna have some cool guests, Clint Cosgrove, Melvin Gordon, whenever our guy decides to show up, that's always a little bit of a question for him, but he'll be here sooner than later. But definitely got to kick this off. But why Wisconsin for you?
Man, Wisconsin for me, it was an amazing place. Like obviously, for me, growing up outside of Wisconsin, you don't really know what to think. I grew up watching like SEC football and whatnot, being from Illinois, seeing what was on TV and. Wisconsin ended up calling, giving me an offer, and my dad and I decided to start watching some Wisconsin football games. Took a visit here, and then once you get on campus, like that's what captivates you, right? It's the lakes, it's the campus itself, it's the academics, it's the people. So being able to get to know my teammates in that short time, like visiting the coaches, seeing where I was gonna be for the next 4 or 5 years of my life, like that's what really. And the food. I will say the food. The food is phenomenal. So, Courage for sure. Definitely going to get some here before I leave. But, it was just an all-around amazing experience when we got here. So that's what set it in stone for us.
How about you, Soj?
Yeah, kind of pretty much the same. Being a kid from South Florida, didn't know much about Wisconsin football. Started watching it once Coach Partridge offered me. Went to the same high school as I. And like Warren said, when I came for my official visit, the people. Right, like walking on State Street, people saying good morning to me. We from South. That's different. That's different. People down there definitely don't say those small things like good morning. So that, and then just being in the game day atmosphere. Seeing all the Motion W, seeing all the fans there. Is definitely something that I knew I wanted to be a part of. Yeah. Got a chance to talk to you, a couple of the guys that were here. I'm on the team while, being from South Florida, and I knew this was gonna be home. Had an opportunity, right? Like looked at the depth chart, was like, oh, I could probably play as soon as I got there, right? So thought about that, took that into consideration, and I tell my mom, I tell my family all the time, right? Best decision I ever made, because I got to build relationships with guys like you, Melvin, all those players that I'm still friends with to this day, and I think that's what it's about. Once you are finished with football, having that friendship. With people that, you probably would have never, met if you didn't come to the school. So best 4 years of my life, played in a lot of big games, fun games. We talk about that all the time, just the little stories that went on, on the field. But, I'm so happy to be able to rep that Motion W.
100%. And for me, it's very similar. Getting here, the first time I ever visited Wisconsin, it was during the summertime. It was kind of a ghost town. I met with Coach Paul, Chris, Coach Rudolph, ended up going to a little bar up the road, eating some lunch with my family, hit it off with them, had a good time. But there's nobody on campus. I wasn't completely convinced, right away. Then I came on my official visit, and it was a completely different atmosphere for me. Getting here, seeing all the kids around, walking, going to class, driving, on Langdon, seeing all the fraternities, getting turned up before the games, and you just felt at home when you were here. I knew this team was going to run the football, so it was being a part of that great running back tradition was definitely a big part for me. And then the thing that really sparked my interest, two of my former high school teammates, Connor O'Neill, Desmond Southward, they came to Wisconsin the year before me, because aside from that, I didn't even know where Wisconsin was on the map, prior to that. And I remember, telling some of my friends, like I was committed to Wisconsin. They were like, what's in Wisconsin? Why are you going there? I was just had to explain it to them. You can't really get a true feel for it until you actually get there and get the experience. Just such great people, a great college, great football town, just such a special place. So that's kind of where I wanted to go, after that. Once you got here on campus and played some football games, went to some classes, what makes this place, so special to you? Even, sitting back here now, being so far removed, and when you come back here to visit like we are right now, what makes Wisconsin so special?
What makes it so special to come back?
Yeah.
Man, a lot of things. The food for sure.
Can't reiterate that enough.
I'm a big dude. I'm one of the big guys. But man, just for sure the relationships. Like it's just the people that you meet here are amazing people. The things that they do, making so many friends outside of sports. Like I still have friends that I've made that I still talk to this day that weren't necessarily on my team, but whether it be in class and being able to speak with people through networking events and whatnot. Definitely the people help you come back, and then also just the life on campus, or just the places you can visit, the things you can do here. I mean, Madison is a very special place. If you've never been, I recommend you check it out. Spend a weekend or two here, like just enjoy it. But definitely the atmosphere has definitely kept me coming back, as well as the relationships that I built while I was here.
About you, so
Yeah, for me, the brotherhood, like that's something, you guys know me on a personal level. That's something that's, extremely important to me. Just the relationships that I build with people that I really feel has impacted my life and helped me out a lot. On my side of that, again, being a kid from South Florida, it's hot. Right? So coming to Wisconsin and, being able to see snow for the first time, being able to see the seasons change, like fall time. Just this past fall, I'm in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and there's no change, but being able to see the leaves change and just kind of, experience the weather, like that's something that was extremely important to me once I got here. And that's something that I've enjoyed just about this place. Obviously the campus life is amazing, sitting between two lakes, as you go to other schools and you kind of see how their campus is truly nothing like this. Here in Madison. So it's forever somewhere that, I'm extremely happy to be able to come back and say that I was able to spend my 4 years of college here.
Yeah, I would definitely say the brotherhood. Obviously, us three, we talk pretty much every day. So it's, us being here together, that's not a huge thing. But when you run into some of your former teammates or maybe some former basketball players or, your former trainers, former coaches, you just takes you back to that time when you were here. You remember all those positive moments. It's a ton of good memories. Me and you, we were here for the Alabama game early on in the season, and seeing Bo Allen, seeing Joe Thomas, even guys that you didn't necessarily play with, you're able to connect with them because you all are fairly similar. Wisconsin usually recruits a certain type of guy. It doesn't matter if you're from Florida, you're from Economawalk, whether you're from California, you're able to bond on some type of similar level. So like being just a good people, not just great athletes. Obviously we want to perform at our best on the football field, but I think overall you want to be good people. And I hope, as of right now and for future times, the coaching staff and everybody else continues to bring those type of guys, in this organization, in this school, because I think that's what matters most. Whenever you meet a fellow Badger or alumni, I think it's very easy for us to connect with one another because I think certain type of kids go here, certain type of, former alumni, went to this school and it means something to them and definitely wear it with pride. So it's always fun to be back here on campus. Next we like to bring up, our guy, Clint Cosgrove, former Wisconsin
Clint.
Badger as well.
I wanted to say this too. B Mace, right? We
Yep.
talked about the relationships.
Yep.
Brian Mason, he's somewhere.
Shout out Brian
here,
Mason.
but that's my guy. So I got to give a shout out to him. He played a huge impact in my time here in Madison. And again, we talk about it. Like I know I can, if I ever need help with anything with us with throwing this event, we reach out to B Mason. He's gonna help us out as much as we can. So that's what it's about.
Yes, sir. Okay, Clint. So to kick it off, you were here, in your glory days, you're with Coach Barry Alvarez. So you won a ton of football games, played with a lot of great players. What was that like for you? And you haven't been back here in a while, you said as well. So
it's been a minute. Yeah. No, I mean, like you talk about the brotherhood. Like we didn't play together, but y'all are family.
Yeah.
Like for real. We've done a couple shows together and we've done all that. But I mean, like growing up in Madison. So like my dad coached here, obviously. It was a dream. It was a dream. And then I end up living that dream. But I would say, like, for me, it was different because I grew up around it. You know what I mean? Like, I grew up like Barry Alvarez was like going to church on a Sunday. You know what I mean? And, Father Mike, all the people that surround the problem, the program, not the problem. it's a beautiful place. It's a special place. I started crying on the way to drive, and I mean, I'll admit it, but it feels a little weird. But like, I started getting teary-eyed on the way to come here because I used to go to the Nitty Gritty for my birthday since I was like 7 years old. Every family was at the Nitty Gritty, every family birthday. And then you talk about just the tradition that I was able to be a part of. I am so blessed. Growing up, and Coach Alvarez, he allowed the family to be a part of the program. And so me especially, because I was a ball head, like I was in there every day. I was allowed to be part of meetings. I was part of after we won, Chris Farley coming in and giving like fake, win one for the Gipper speeches. It was so lit. And so like I grew up with this vision of Wisconsin being the greatest football, the greatest everything. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And then I grew up around it, and thank God to Coach Alvarez. He gave me the opportunity to be a part of it. I was in meetings every day. When I grew up, I thought the seminary was the hot spot. Y'all have any feelings about the seminary?
Hey, it's a pretty good spot. I will say that.
All right, so it's miserable for those who don't know out there.
That's why you used to have camp,
it was
right?
2-a-days.
Yeah, that's what you used to have camp. Yeah.
But I was there playing video games and doing all the fun stuff. So God bless Coach Alvarez for letting me be a part of that. And I've continued to work in the football world. This is the first time I've been able to wear a Wisconsin shirt in a while. I was in the media. They don't let you do such things. But being a part of this program, growing up around this program, being around guys like you, it is a brotherhood. It is a special place. Like, I was there the first time they did jump around, I remember my freshman year with all the chips on the table. We were playing Ohio State. Third quarterback went down, and we're like, who's going to step in the game? And we're like, oh, my God, it's Shabert. And he drops a dime to lead to win the game. And that was the greatest night of my life, swear to God. And it was like Scout Team United. But like, this is a special place, special people. I'm so happy to be here. Wisconsin football it's a trajectory. It's a different day in the game, but like Wisconsin's on the up, and that's a good thing to be.
He talked about it's a different game. Obviously, when we played, there was no NIL. You weren't allowed to make money. You had your scholarship check that you got monthly, pay your rent, then whatever was left, that's what you had. And I know you're pretty intertwined in the NIL world right now. Can you kind of share what you know of what kids are looking for when it comes to NIL and how much has changed?
Yeah, I mean, it's changed. Like, I was happy to get that Qdoba check, like they would, when they didn't do training table for the night, we'd get $15 at Qdoba. And I was like, that's 2 nachos and a taco maybe, maybe some chips and dip. But it's changed. I mean, it tax-free. Tax-free. Yeah, taxes, you got to worry about that now. That's a good thing, I guess. It has changed, and I think it's good for the sport in the terms that how many people wore your jersey with no name on the back, and you never got a penny, but how much did the university make?
A lot of money.
Yeah, they made a bill or two. And so this is the greatest opportunity for high school and college athletes to maximize their name, image, and likeness, which professionals in every single aspect of life, young musicians, whatever it is, they've always been able to do this. But for some reason, the football players, they weren't allowed to. But guess what? They are now. And they're the most marketable people in the world. They really are. You have fans. NFL teams, they cheer for teams, and they maybe cheer for the one guy who they buy the jersey for. College fans, fanatics. There's a difference between pro money and fanatic money. There really is. And so, like, you have collectives, like the Varsity Collective, who they can bring together money And it's so confusing. It is the Wild West, guys. But I'm telling you right now, these varsity collectives, whether you're a car dealership, whether you're an individual business owner, whatever it is, these collectives come together to make sure there is the infrastructure in place to pay a player what their name, image, and likeness value is. So a lot of people think of collectives, they're like, oh, they're just throwing guys pay for play. Well, you can call it that, but there's deliverables on these pay for play. Okay? The good thing about all of this is they can get paid to play with deliverables, but on top of it, if they create a brand for themselves, if they create something that is worth that people outside the Wisconsin family or whatever it is, there is so much money to be made for players by capitalizing on, what do you eat for breakfast every morning? I eat Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That's a thing. And so when you have the combination of a collective, you have the combination of personal interests and personal brands, I think you come together and a lot of people are like, oh, this player got paid $1 million to come here. And yes, the quarterback market, it's expensive. You got to have $1 million to pay to play. But there are other avenues, there are other things that you can do to support your community, whether it be supporting the collective, whether it's you own a car dealership and you know what, I'm going to lease a car to a player who's coming in. Wisconsin is in a prime spot to do this, and they have grown so much over the past couple of years to the point where we would get players of your value. I mean, I'm telling you, PPR nightmare right there. It's a beautiful time to be a Badger. It's a beautiful time to be part of Wisconsin. It's a beautiful landscape. I really believe this. There's a lot of colleges that have been making money off players for a long time. This is their time to capitalize on it. And I am so proud of what Wisconsin is doing, what other schools are doing, and they're doing it the right way. And I don't know what else to say, but this is the real deal.
When you're dealing with some of these kids, do you feel like most of the kids are looking for strictly money when they're choosing their schools, or are there other factors like it was back in the day where you're looking for a school that had your major and this and that?
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, you are who you are. If you were driven by money and you've never had money, it's easy to take money. But I will tell you this. I would say 70 to 80% of the kids that I work with at ProPath Management, they're looking for the best fit. The money will come, right? We're looking for happiness. We're looking for fit. We're looking, are they being, are they getting the best education possible? Are they happy mentally? I mean, mental health is a big thing in this, and when you're getting just paid to play, the mental health isn't part of that deal. So that's a lot of what I look at when I'm representing athletes and I walk in and I'm like, what is a place where they can thrive outside of football? If they got hurt, what would they do? How can they impact the community? And then the brand deals and all that other stuff, it comes. You'd be surprised by the amount of guys who might not be the biggest football player, but they have a story. They overcame something. And brands are interested in this. And that's why, I go back to Wisconsin because this is where I grew up. This is what I was part of. And for me, I don't know, man, it's special. There's a lot of people who care about you. There's a lot that can be done, and there's a lot you can do as a player here. Yeah.
I guess I'll open up to you two. What do you think? Because it's a possibility that schools will soon be able to pay the players directly, but there will still be an effective NIL where kids can still capitalize on their brand. How much do you guys think that will change NIL and the amount or the decision that some of these kids make on what school they're going to?
Hey, South Florida. Because there's a lot of money being out in South Florida now.
It is, but you kind of hit it too, right? If you go somewhere and the fit is perfect, the money is going to come, right? It's a whole bunch of schools that can provide, the whole NIL deal. But you hit it too, for me, it would be mental. And I think once you get into football and you start seeing how much of a mental factor and making sure you're in the right headspace, you'll see like it really plays a key part, and that would be, I guess, a important piece of my decision making. Not just money. Obviously, the money's gonna come. If you're a good player, the money's gonna come.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think we all had the same goal. Like we all wanted to make it to the NFL at some point. And so, I mean, I think for me, you know, growing up the way I was raised, like I just felt like, yeah, you know, it probably made you think about it a little longer. But I think at the end of the day, like I said, when you get here, it's kind of just like you see the people that are in the corner, you see the people that are in your corner, the support that you have, the lifestyle that you can live being here on campus. I mean, there's just so much to being here at Madison that, you know, I mean, with the opportunity of having NIL, but then also to be able to be here, be present, meet the people, have opportunities outside of the game. I mean, I don't think that would have changed my decision at all. But I thought about it longer because money talk. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah, 100% it does.
I mean, especially nowadays. I mean, kids going left and right. Here 1 year, here 1 day, going to the next place. So, I mean, but I think at the time where we were at, I just felt like relationships mattered so much more. The academics mattered so much more. The team that you were on, the relationships that you built on that team mattered so much more. So, I mean, like I said, I don't think at that time it would have changed my decision much.
100%. We appreciate you, Clint. Appreciate you joining us.
I can't thank you
Yes,
enough.
sir. Yes, sir.
We'll do it again soon.
Definitely do that. Definitely.
God bless.
100%. Next, we got to bring up the man of the hour, Mr. Melvin Gordon.
Yeah. Money Mel.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we kind of So we kind of hit on it a little bit earlier. You know, what kind of makes Wisconsin special to us? You know, you're from Wisconsin, so how much does this program mean to you?
It mean everything to me. Just being from here, and then when I got here, just kind of seeing, you know, the tradition here, and just you know y'all class, the guys above me, just what it meant to y'all. I remember just going into practice. Anytime we would do workouts and things like that, I would always look at, you know, the names, you know, in the stadium, and I just was like, you know, being from Wisconsin, one day, you know, having my name up there one day would just be awesome. Seeing a lot of people from Wisconsin, from where I come to these games, and just seeing my name and just being a Kenosha, a native Wisconsin kid, that just would have meant the world to me. And you know, I just always wanted to put on for the state. You know, we never. I mean, y'all don't know. Y'all boys played in Florida, so y'all got a lot of respect. I mean, you even played in Illinois. Y'all get more than us. But just being a Wisconsin kid, just when it came to sports, you just never got love like that. So it always just meant a little more to me, just kind of, you know, just to keep the state on.
100%. And then, you know, obviously you speak of your name going in the rafters here. Tomorrow they'll be honoring you for your 400-plus yard performance.
Yeah.
Been 10 years already. Crazy.
10, crazy.
You old as dirt.
10 years, bro. Mel, 10 years. How you feel? That's crazy.
I mean, it seemed like yesterday I just came in here as a freshman, and you know, I thought it was 9, so 10 kind of throwing me off a little bit. But I mean, it's been 10 years, man. I mean, it goes so fast. You know, obviously being in the league, I mean, just being on a set schedule, everything just moves so fast. But I mean, time is flew.
Yeah, it definitely flies by. And as we were talking to, you know, with Clint, you know, NIL is a huge thing now. We missed out on that time. Like, if you went back to your recruiting process, you would
need that chicken.
Hey, Mel, 2016. I think it cut off 2016. You were pretty sought after recruit. So now, if you look back at, you know, at that time, if NIL was present, would that have impacted your decision?
I mean, I definitely would have. Just to tell you a story, my dad is hilarious. I mean, he tried to get our quarterback. He was like, "Yeah, the only way you can get Melvin to come to Wisconsin is if you give his quarterback a scholarship." So I'm pretty sure he would have tried to finesse some bread out them folks. I definitely would have asked for that cheese though. Look, I asked for a little bit, but I mean, I don't think that would have been my overall in decision making. Kind of how I seen it. Every running back that started at Wisconsin. had an opportunity to go to the league. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's what we
Yeah.
that's your overall goal. And so that's what I seen. I was just like, if I just get an opportunity, you look at, okay, Monty here, James is this year. I at least got a year or two. I got a year or two to be the guy, So it was just like, if I had that opportunity, I knew that I'd get to the league. And, I think what most players need to understand is like, don't pick a school for the bread. There's nothing wrong with taking lease to make more later. Don't go take, whatever amount of money because they tell you this, and then you get put in a bad situation. Because we all know when you get put in a bad situation, it's a little hard. It's hard to get out of it, and then you can overall end up making less. So with me, I probably would have stayed at Wisconsin, but they'd have definitely, I'd have got a little bit, but I wouldn't have asked for the world, just enough.
100%. For me too, I definitely think NIL would have made some sort of impact on my decision. Like if there's one school, they ain't gonna offer you no money as a scholarship, and you got another school offer you $100K, $150K, that's gonna raise your eyebrows, a little bit. You're gonna start looking around, especially other backs, like you redshirted your freshman year. You know what I'm saying? You were pretty sought after recruit. There's definitely been teams calling you after the year in the transfer portal, this and that, trying to lure you away. So I definitely understand where a lot of these kids are sitting in these different predicaments because everybody's family situation different. Now, if you grow up and your family's doing well, then sure, maybe money's not a huge impact for you. If you come from nothing and people put out money in front of you, yeah, I'm probably gonna go follow the money if I gotta take care of mom, brother, sister, this and that. So I definitely understand that these kids are put in tough situations, transferring left and right. I don't necessarily agree with all the time, but I understand everybody's dynamic. It's definitely a little bit different.
Do anybody know what they offering these kids?
Some pretty.
Yeah. What you know? You know?
You want to know what the starting receiver in the SEC averages?
What's that?
$737,000.
Yeah.
Man, in college. I definitely wouldn't have.
I need some back pay.
Yeah.
They got some back pay to give me.
So I was getting paid out.
I made the cutoff. I was gonna holler at B Mace about seeing where I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But I wanted to ask you though, right? We talked about before you got here just the whole brotherhood thing, and obviously you had two backs in front of you that kind of were elite to show you the way. Monty and James. Talk about the relationship that you guys still have now to this day and how impactful it is for you even now, having those guys as brothers.
Well, I think, watching those guys kind of helped me through the league as well. And it kind of helped me be the bell cow my senior year. I just needed to, coming in, you think you know how to work. And then you do the workouts with the guys, and you're like, I'm not there yet. And it just took me a while. And I remember going up against Monty, and it was winter conditioning, and he just destroyed me. That's when we had the
battle for the jerseys.
We had the battle for the jerseys, and I don't think it was the jerseys that year. I think it was more so just like competition. They just put you up with someone. So I was going up against other people, and I was holding my fair share. And then I went up against Monty, and if y'all don't know, Monty was like, one of the hardest workers I know. Like it was just crazy. So I went up against him, and I knew athletically, I'm like, okay, I can get him. I'm faster than Monty, and he just destroyed me. I'm talking about he would do little things like he would go to the front of the line, go all out, and then when we get back to the line, he just stand up like he wasn't tired. And I'm dying. I'm like, there's no way. I'm looking at him the whole time. And then when it was like I don't know how many drills it was.
It felt like 100.
It was a lot of drills. So we kept switching drills, and he would run to the front of the line. Usually you try to go in the back, got the guys going in front of you, try to get your air. He would hop in the front. And it was just he was destroying me mentally. He was destroying me mentally. And then after he was like, yeah, bro, like, I did that on purpose, and I was just like, all right. So the next year I used that against everybody else and it worked. But just watching how him and you went out there, and I said this before, like you were probably the most consistent players that I've been around. it was only one time that you messed up. And, when I got messed up, I got yelled at. I messed up pretty often. I came in as a freshman. I was getting chewed out. Guys, I almost quit my first day of training camp. It was a different story for me and James. But when James made a mistake, we couldn't even get mad. Like the running back coach couldn't even get mad. He was just like, you know what, James, it's all good.
Hey, you got it.
I couldn't even get mad. I was just like, it is what it is. But with your consistency and how you work and with Monty's work ethic, that kind of set me up for years to come with how to lead the team when you guys left and how to hold it down when the team needed me to step up and be that guy. And also when I got to the league. So, thank you guys, obviously, but, just the brotherhood that we have, man, I don't think anyone can ever get rid of that. And, hopefully we still got that with the running backs, in the locker rooms now.
No, 100%. I guess that kind of brings me to my next topic. As we keep bringing up NIL, do you think, having NIL, has that shifted the dynamic as far as brotherhood and, the type of connection that we had, when we were playing? Because, you weren't worried about, this guy's making this amount of money, but I'm out here performing better than him, this and that. Like, why am I not getting that money? And there could be some sort of disconnect, within your team. So do you think that has some sort of effect on the team?
I definitely do think it's pros and cons because, it's just, it's inevitable. People do pocket watch. Yeah. And, that's just the world we live in today. And you see a guy getting this, and then you go out there and you make a couple plays, and you like, man, well, I'm not getting this, and it can hurt your locker room. I can't see it hurt your locker room, but I feel like if you have some great seniors in there, to kind of, I don't think that would have happened with us. I think if guys would have left, it would have been because of lack of opportunity, or they feel like, the receiver's like, okay, Melvin's getting the ball 20 minutes. I'm not really getting the ball like that. I'm going to go to Oregon State. It'd have been some situations like that. But as far as bread, like, I don't think that would have torn us apart. But maybe some relationships with the guys wouldn't have went on 4 years if the NIL deal was there. It was definitely some guys that probably would have left. But that's the pros and cons with the NIL. That's also something that come with it.
What y'all think?
I feel the same way. Like, when I came in, you were a part of the senior group, guys like yourself, and then the following year, Warren and Mel were the top dogs of the team. I think having guys like that on your team that can kind of lead and show, players that it is about that brotherhood, it is about the connection. Those summer workouts where y'all, I don't want to say dying, but it feel like, it feel like you're hurting together. I think that's what builds that, that relationship, and that more important is that it's just more than just money that can get you to, because again, like we've been saying this whole show, you could have went into any other school and the money was good. If you're a good player, you're going to make the money.
And it comes down to really what you value, I feel like.
For sure.
And that comes with great seniors. Like I said, if you have seniors that see the bigger picture and know the bigger picture, they'll let you know where your value really stands and where it should stand as being a part of this team. Because if money is bigger than the team, then you probably should go somewhere else, in all honesty, because we're not going to win with the type of player that you are. Everybody got to be on the same page.
Nah, it's definitely, to your point, it is definitely shaking up the landscape of how guys are viewing relationships on teams and things like that. Like we, just like not too long ago, we was talking about it, like UNLV had a couple of guys that stepped away, like for not getting paid out or whatever they was promised, and just imagine how that ruins a locker room, right? If you playing, you putting all your hard work in the middle of the season, and you just decide to quit because
that was crazy.
That was crazy, right?
That was crazy.
And I think it's happened a couple more times since then, but just like it definitely shakes up a locker room, and it's going to continue to do that as guys continue to pocket watch or get these promises. So that's the best part about having the universities be able to step in and facilitate NIL and things like that. But I don't think that, like you said, I don't think that ever would have happened to us because of the leaders that we had on the team. But that just goes to show how important relationships are, right? And so you hope that guys that are getting paid the NIL or looking for NIL are also looking for how important relationships are going once the money's all gone. Because obviously you can save your money, things like that and whatnot. But after the game is over, you got to have relationships past that.
I think that's what it comes down to: leadership and relationships. And I think it starts with the coach. the coaches got to really build relationships with, starting from the recruiting process, freshman year, sophomore year, whenever those guys come in, you really got to get to know those people on a deeper level, get to know their parents. I know, Coach Bielema did that, Coach Chris did that. I'm sure Coach Fickle is trying to do that, because at the end of the day, if I can kind of trust my coach, if I can trust my teammates, your teammates should be the same way. I know that's what we all did. Like our families, our moms, our dads, they got to know each other. They're hanging out, before the games, after the games. I think all of that, is very important. So, sure, there's NIL there, but I think as long as the relationships, stay strong, I think that's, what's most important. I think that will allow, for those teams, the good teams at least, not to really fizzle apart. Because there's always going to be probably one or two guys where they feel like they're getting left out when it comes to money and not playing things of that nature. They'll end up going a different direction. So
I got a question though. It's y'all show and y'all give me the questions.
Ask questions. Yeah.
Sometimes I like that. I like to ask questions. So I don't know if I read that right on the ULV on that player, but if a coach promised you some bread and didn't give it to you, how would you feel about that? What would be your take? You know what I mean?
I definitely, would feel some type of way if something, was promised to me and I did not receive it and I'm playing, very well. But at the same time, I would have probably made sure I got that before the season started. I wouldn't have gotten the middle of the year, 3 games in, I'm balling, then I'm going to quit on my team. That's just not necessarily how I'm built. You know what I'm saying? If you're playing well, you're going to get that money at some point, hopefully so, which I do think, the UNLV collective or whatever they had, they're definitely wrong when it comes to that. If they promise a kid money, he definitely deserves it. But I don't think I could have walked away from my team, especially at quarterback. Like, come on.
Yeah, we need
you lose your quarterback. I mean, that really shifts things. I know they were still able to, win a few games without him. So that's unfortunate for him that your team, you leave and your team's still winning games. So
the other quarterback came in there lighting it up too.
Thank you.
But kind of like what James said, I always, and you talk about looking your teammates in the eyes. I always go back to that Iowa game. Like Mel will tell you, it was that Iowa game 2015, I want to say, was 2014. Mel came off the field multiple times, and I'm looking at Mel. I'm like, Mel, we need one more.
You got to do it. I'm like, boy, I can barely walk. You talking about?
I say, Mel, we need one more drive, Mel. We need one more drive. So, but to be able to look in my teammate eyes and, I know that we got each other just because, like I hinted to earlier, just all that work that you put in during the offseason, those winter workout conditions, getting up at 6 a.m., then summer camp, fall camp, all that type of stuff. Just being able to build that brotherhood and that bond with, your teammates and certain players. I don't think I would be able to look, you, Warren, or Mel in the eyes, especially at a position like quarterback that's so impactful of a team, and just walk out on them. But it is kind of messed up to be promised something and not get it. But I think, the NCAA or whoever handles all that stuff have to do a great job at regulating and being able to not have that be an issue.
Yeah, that would have been hard. I mean, you got to think about it. Like when you decide on a school, like you're going because, especially when we were going to school, like you trust your coaches, right? It's a trust thing, right? You trust the person that's getting you there, that's that's helping you see the vision of what you're going to do in that program. Obviously, you make a relationship with your teammates, but you first start with building a relationship with your coach because knowing who you're going to play under, right? So that would have been hard. Like I know it's difficult, but for me personally, it would have been hard, right? To sit there to walk, to walk around knowing that I was promised something, didn't get it. Now I got to swallow my pride, and then also at the same time, be able to look my teammate in the face and, obviously, work for my teammate and put in the blood, sweat, and tears for the guy next to me. But it would have been conflict, bro. That's hard.
Yep. Before we open up for questions, we got a big game tomorrow night, obviously. Wisconsin versus number 1
Let's go.
team in the country, Oregon. We played some big games while we were here in Wisconsin. And you played some big games too?
No. I was saying y'all played Oregon, right?
Yeah.
Y'all played
We
Oregon.
did play Oregon in the Rose Bowl.
They played Oregon. I did not play that game.
I barely played. Monty pretty much played that entire game. But what's some of your favorite moments competing against certain teams or here in Camp Randall? What's some of your favorite games that you played in?
Some of my favorite games. Always when we played Minnesota, whether it was here or away. I mean, That's probably the only time I almost got kicked out the game. I just hate those guys. Honestly, I just don't like them at all. I walked into the stadium with an attitude. Let me see. When we played O State, those were fun just because they were a good game. Besides my last year, that was not fun. We're not
gonna talk about that.
We got smoked. Anytime we played a SEC school, that was big because they just never gave the Big Ten respect, and I didn't like that at all. And obviously, anytime we played Nebraska, after the first time they had beat us and came back, I was just so pissed. And I was just like, I mean, we all showed that game.
That Big Ten championship
right. Yeah. It was crazy. They didn't know who to get an MVP to. We was all ball. That's how crazy it went. So anytime we played them, but I mean, my favorite game obviously was either the bowl game, but it was that Iowa game. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, those. It was times where I was waking up off the ground and I didn't even know how I got there, and it was just like, it was just a bigger story with me and them because I was committed there and I decommitted and came here, and it was just like they were just like us but just opposite colors.
Yeah.
We knew it was gonna be a physical game, and I like to, as a football player and as a man, you kind of like to get tested here and there, and I always felt like that team, you had to come with it, otherwise they embarrass you.
Yeah.
And so those games versus Iowa was always my favorite.
I would say, a game specifically, 2 games. As far as, myself, I would probably say 2016 Minnesota. Just that being my last game at the camp, you kind of soak in that whole memory of your last time being out, a chance to play out there, and had a pretty good game. We
Two interceptions.
Yeah, had a pretty good game.
Yes,
but just being able to, have the axe, chop it down, goalposts, jump up in the stands. That's something I didn't, we would never do.
That picture was crazy.
And it's crazy. It's crazy because Mel the one who's like, man, why did I get a picture in the stands? But so I jumped in the stands. But the other game is the game Mel, hinted to, and that's that game against Iowa. Just because it was so cool. Like we introduced some new jerseys, the white helmet with the white face
clean.
mask.
That was icy, boy.
Yeah, it was super icy. But then just the interactions that, I had on the field with Mel, again, that's somebody that, I cherish as a brother of mine for life. And, just that game was just crazy. He coming off the field, like he said, it's probably times where, I don't know if I can say, but if there was a bounty on a player, Iowa was after him.
Tough game.
Got to take out the most important piece.
You feel me? But, just the interactions are telling him like, Mel, man, we need one more drive. And then actually going out there and seeing him do it, which was crazy about it. And we don't win that game if Mel don't have the performance.
100%.
Super dope to witness.
For sure. I'm going to say definitely never lost to Minnesota, so that was always great being able to have that over their head because they always came in talking crap. Like being a guy that never didn't know a lot about Wisconsin football, when I got here, you learn quickly about how much we hate Minnesota. Like I enjoy being a part of that. So being able to win the Big Ten win the Big Ten West and go to the Big Ten championship our senior year, that was awesome. That Nebraska game that you had 400, yeah, bro, that was fire. 405, excuse me. 405, my bad.
Looked out with that strip fumble you had.
Hey, you feel me? Hey, I love that game.
I appreciate you for it.
Hey, because they was beating us to start the game. We had to turn something around. Nah, but that was cool. But definitely always playing Iowa like that. Like if you was, you had to be a man to play that game. Yeah,
it's a man's game.
That
right
was a
there.
physical game. So every time we play Iowa was fun, and then same thing with SEC. Yeah, I love beating up on SEC teams for sure.
For me, I guess my favorite one would be beating number 1 Ohio State here at home. My freshman
Hopefully we
year.
can run that back.
Yeah. Hopefully we can repeat that tomorrow night.
Yep.
But yeah, that one was electric from the get-go. David Gilreath returned the kickoff. Feel like the whole team ran to the end zone. Just feel like everything clicked. From that point on. Scoring the game-sealing touchdown in that one. As a freshman, that was a electric atmosphere. Kind of like y'all playing Iowa my freshman year. I got hurt in like the second quarter of that game, so I got to watch that one from the sideline. But that one was electric, dog. We were going back and forth with them. I remember when we got the ball in our final possession to go down and score. I don't think people understand how loud Kinnick Stadium is. It's one of the most underrated stadiums probably in the country. I remember when we got the rock that final possession, I couldn't hear nothing. And we worked the ball down the field. You know, Monty went down, ended up scoring the game-winning touchdown. You know, that was an electric atmosphere. And then probably, you know, that Big Ten championship, 2012, you know, just running the ball all over the yard, everything working, every trick play working. You know, that's what you live for at a running back, especially at Wisconsin, to really take over a game, do whatever you want. They can't tackle us, just really breaking their will. That was always fun, beating Nebraska. So that's definitely some of my favorite memories. But now we'll open it up to some questions if anybody has some questions to ask. You know, anybody up here on the stand here. Go ahead, Clint.
I'm sure we talked about Iowa. I know that. It's always a physical game. What is the most physical game you ever played?
Ooh, most physical game. That's tough. I might say Michigan State. That might have been the same year, 2012 too, I believe, where we lost. We lost to them, you know, here at home. Michigan State, they with Pat Narduzzi when he was the defensive coordinator. Their defenses were always on point, have big, tall defensive ends, physical, blitzing left and right. Like whenever you play them, you know it's going to be a tough matchup. Kind of like Iowa. I know it's a little bit different now. They have a different coaching staff, but it was always tough going up against them. You knew it was going to be a long day.
I mean, mine was that Iowa game. I mean, it was a play where I ran, and I literally was running, and then I was getting off the ground, and I was like, man, this crazy. Got up, and then like you had to just like cut it off, but it was I want to say the second to last game of the season, so you already had the wear and tear. And I mean, that game, like you said, I feel like it was a bounty on me. It was just, I mean, clashing every play, and you just have to get back up and clashing. And I just remember, like, towards the end of the game, I'm like, bro, I could barely move my legs. Like, I'm done though. I'm finished, and then so walk up to me like, man, I need one more. Like, come on, man. but you have to be able to lock in, but. You know, and just kind of block out the pain. I mean, I feel like you got to be a little crazy.
You got to be a little crazy to play football for sure.
You got to be a little crazy, but that definitely was my most physical game that I can remember.
Man.
You're in the trenches, so you know where it's at.
Every game I feel like physical for you,
bro. Every game, but I'm gonna say the only reason I say this is because you had to force yourself to be physical was 2013 when we played Minnesota at Minnesota.
Oh, yeah,
boy, it was brick. It was like negative
20 or something. I don't know.
negative 28 wind chill, and like when it get cold, you don't want to touch nobody, but you had to really force yourself to be physical that game, and I think we won that game. I was like 14 straight. Next year ended up being 15 straight. But that was like, we had guys leaving with like frostbitten toes. And that was one of those games you had to bring everything you had just because it was so cold.
It's the game I almost got kicked out of, by the way. I ain't care about none of that code. I wasn't playing. I was barely getting snaps. I was ready to fight that game. I'm not gonna lie to y'all.
And the crazy thing was like you got guys yelling in the locker room, hey, you better not be wearing sleeves.
Like
That's the game.
That's the game when we all lined up at the goalpost. I don't know if they played that on camera for you guys at all. But that's the reason now we can't run over the sideline and grab that. That was due to that year, by the way. Yeah. We almost got in a big fight. They weren't trying to let us chop down the goalpost, and you know how we feel about those guys.
Yeah,
so.
they was big mad. What about you, son? You play corner, so
Yeah, it is. But I was gonna say the game that Warren said, the Minnesota game. But outside of that, I'll say we played Michigan my senior year, and that was a physical game. But that 2013 game, just being cold, like I said, that was my first time actually playing in negative degree weather. Hands frozen, feet.
Yeah, as a Florida boy, you
know.
I was hurt when the hand warmers ain't working.
Hand warmers not working.
The Vaseline and rubber gloves under your gloves ain't working.
Coach telling me move away from the from the heater.
Coach, you tripping.
I'm like, man, Coach, you want me to play my best out here?
Imagine playing like that in high school though, where you ain't got no heated benches.
You don't know how y'all do it.
Yeah,
I was out there with heated socks on. Y'all talking about I was out there with heated socks with batteries in my sock in high school. I was freezing.
And you knew it was cold because at halftime, like, when you were a kid, they had you hot chocolate, some little warm drink, apple cider. Boy, they had us drinking chicken broth straight from the cooler. I'm like, bro.
Wasn't working neither.
That was a fun game.
It wasn't working.
Nothing gonna say. Any other questions? Go ahead, Ken. Favorite stadium to play in. I said it earlier, it's gotta be Kinnick. Kinnick, what type of matchup it's gonna be. It's gonna be physical, similar type players, similar type brand of football. And like I said, it's only 70-something thousand in there, but they're close up on you. Like they know, like you're sitting in there talking with your coaches. They in the conversation with your coaches.
Hey, coach, that play ain't gonna work. Run something else.
You know what I'm saying?
Melvin, you suck.
A whole game there in your ear. So that's definitely an electric atmosphere. One of my favorite places to play at.
Like you said, Kenny, I've heard fans say stuff worse to both of y'all. More than just worse than just Melvin. You suck.
Give him the whole rundown. They're pretty rated R on the sidelines.
But I'm gonna go
right here where like me and Warren is. What is the stadium?
That's the stadium. Yeah.
Right here.
Slap you in the back of the head.
You hear everything. So imagine how I got it when I was committed there and decommitted. So imagine the year they used to kill me. But
I'm gonna say though, I'm gonna go Nebraska though. Nebraska's a fun place to play. They how you walk through, the kind of the hallway with all the accolades and stuff. It's kind of a long hallway to walk to get to the field. You come out and pretty much fans talking trash to you, but outside of Kinnick, obviously here, I'm gonna go in Nebraska.
Yeah. I was going to say, for all of us, probably, obviously the camp, got to go with number one. But outside of that, probably Penn State, bro. Happy Valley, or not Happy Valley.
Is it Happy Valley?
Yeah, Happy Valley. Yeah, Happy Valley, that was loud. That was fire. The whiteout that they did in 2012 when we played them? Or was it 2011?
That game was colder than Minnesota.
2011, might have been 2011. It was cold, too. That was cold, too. But
I
I went sleeveless for that one. I was all right.
I'm going Lincoln. I couldn't hear.
Yeah, Nebraska.
That was the loudest I've ever heard anybody. I was standing next to a person right here, and he was talking. I'm like, what? It was just. That stadium is electric. But
Nicest fans too.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Nice, it's crazy. Nicest fans.
Nicest fans.
Yeah. But they just loud.
And when they let the balloons off, that's fire, too.
Yeah. They got a cool atmosphere there. Any other questions? Got the Melvin Gordon jersey on, yes, sir.
First question I have to ask about the jacket. You have a comment. So, I got the jersey, but you got to talk about the jacket a little bit.
Oh, Jeff Gordon. I seen the jacket. It was that, you walk into some shops sometimes, and then it'd be like retro shops where they got like all these old stuff. And I just, the last name, it was respect. So I was just like, you feel me? Maybe that's my long lost cousin or something. So I was like, let me cop the jack.
From the south to the south side.
You said what?
From Kenosha to the south side, the deep south side.
Oh, yeah.
But then the comment is, just speaking for graduation, we're all very impressed and proud of what you guys did for the University of Wisconsin and what you guys continue to do. And just keep doing what you do, and thanks so much.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
man.
Appreciate that. Thank you. No. Definitely appreciate the love. Any other questions out there? Yep. Okay, we'll do it on
Tom.
3. We'll do it on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hi, Tom.
Is Tom back there? Is Tom?
No.
Tom on camera? Should we wave at the camera?
No, she had her phone out.
Oh, you got your phone out? Oh, man. I missed the
But
cue.
after this though, we can do it
Hey,
again.
that's on me. Hey, can we run it back?
Any other questions out there before we wrap it up? Nope.
What's your favorite Madison spot?
Ooh.
Dottie's.
Dottie's,
Oh,
okay.
Nitty is cool, but Dottie's for me. I love hamburger. Dottie's down the street.
It's tough. A lot of good choices. I might go Tornado Room.
Yes.
I got a little
Yeah.
expensive taste,
Bougie.
but
Tornado room, boy. You said roof.
No, I said bougie.
Oh, no, tornado
I
room.
wasn't eating that
bro.
tornado.
treat yourself every now and then.
Yeah, if I'm getting cheese curds, I'm coming here. If I'm getting cheese curds, I'm coming to Nitty. And then if I'm getting a steak,
It's tough.
medium rare, with a side of hash browns, with a nice glass of red wine,
Boy.
and a little bit of dessert. I'm going tornado roll. Oh, and if I'm going to brunch,
Goodness, Warren.
oh man.
I mean, he did play
I'm going to
D-line,
Marigold's
yeah.
Kitchen. Marigold's Kitchen is fire. I like Marigold's Kitchen. If I want just a casual lunch, might go to Cooper's. I like Cooper's. I might go to Dottie's, get me a milkshake. If I want a milkshake, you know. Yeah, there's a couple places around here.
Like now or when I was here?
Both.
Oh, both. I have no idea now. I just kind of go to whatever open in Madison that I've never been to.
You gotta have a go-to spot.
A go-to spot? I used to go to QQ's.
Shout out QQ. Shout out QQ.
Legendary. But it was real fast.
Legendary.
Dude,
Hey, that two
Get up
play
outta there.
or that two combo play.
gotta have you, QQ.
Oh,
Hey,
boy,
right before
funny.
practice.
Stomach bubbling at
Right
practice.
before practice.
Stomach on play. Gotta have it. Mickey was good too. You know,
Mickey's,
the breakfast
yeah,
spot.
Trying to think of some other spots. That's
And
pretty
then I
good.
used to,
man.
what me and the homies used to do, we used to go to Cracker Barrel here and do the little Russian card roulette.
Yeah, that was.
Oh, y'all playing? Y'all playing with that check? That's what y'all playing.
Nah,
with.
but it was like you say, it was something that we used to do every Saturday.
Our way to
so
bond.
Sunday after the game. But it's bad if your car get
Car
pulled.
get picked, boy. You stressing.
I will say too, the other Chinese place, Orient House. Orient House is really good too. Chinese food. I don't know if it's still there or not, but
And then I was a fan of Brick House too when I was here.
Brick House, yeah.
I used to
Brick House,
like.
legendary.
I mean,
Yeah.
anywhere they
It's
had
gone,
that
yeah.
per diem though, I was getting activated. I'm telling you right now, I wasn't trying to spend no bread. Nothing.
I was gonna say Qdoba. I didn't know about Qdoba till I got here. Obviously with Chipotle, but Qdoba was
Yeah.
Capriati's too.
Yeah. That's
Capriati.
no longer
Capriati.
no more either.
the
yeah.
Philly cheesesteak.
No, not even the Philly,
Hey,
bro.
that sound like that. That's where that per diem was. Yeah, I know it. I know it.
Dang, I'm trying to think what else, bro.
We know you got all the spots.
I got a lot. I got a lot. I would walk by, get me a dipped Oreo from Kilwins. Ooh.
Yeah.
That sounds good, bro.
That's fire, boy. You can get a chocolate dipped Twinkie.
There you go.
I was on it.
Y'all got him
Yeah.
started. We got to cut him off. Any other questions before we wrap it up? No more questions? Yeah, we got one. Wisconsin, we got it, man.
Oh, Wisconsin all day.
We got
Yeah.
us, man. You know, score
History
prediction.
repeats itself. We taking
Score
number one down in the
prediction.
camp again.
Score prediction. Okay, Oregon. He said what? Oh, they were just show. Oh, yeah, happy Andy Melvin Gordon. There we go. Yeah, right on time.
Yeah.
They can't be showing some IJP,
Yeah,
Ryan.
you
Get him
can't do that.
No,
They showed you first though.
a score prediction.
What is this for?
Okay.
Score prediction.
What is that for? What is that for?
I don't know. They just remembered it, man. Legendary.
Happy Andy.
Legendary
Respect,
performance.
Respect.
But score prediction for Wisconsin to win, I'm going to go 28-24 Wisconsin. Y'all got any score predictions?
Yeah.
Time for the one time.
405.
Appreciate it.
Mr. 405.
Playing that, y'all. We
y'all
playing
got-
that.
What's y'all score prediction? What's y'all score prediction for tomorrow?
Me?
I'm gonna go. I want
gotta
to say
think about it.
28. I want to say 28-24, but I'm gonna go 24-21. I say us being one by 3.
What you got, Warren? Thinking long and hard, huh?
What's the most points we've put up this year?
Well, 40-something against Purdue. 52 against Purdue.
52?
Yeah.
I feel like we're gonna have to score tomorrow to keep up with these boys. 31-28.
There we go. Yeah, that's I like that. All right. We're thinking hard, boy, man. There's only so many numbers
What
out
you got
there,
tomorrow, Warren?
I'm gonna go 98-71. I'm gonna agree with that. I'm gonna go 33-31.
Nah, we not gonna give you that. You trying to get up to Nah, come up with your own score.
31-27. Wisconsin.
Is there one more question?
If you could have played the fourth quarter in the 408 game, how many yards would you go?
I done got me one big round up out of them boys. One more. I'd have probably went for like 60,
60, 80,
68,
509.
something crazy.
Fourth quarter.
Yeah, man, that joker
He did it against no competition. That shit,
Mel-
that shit is
Mel-
Kansas, man.
He looked like Akron, didn't he? Or
Not
something?
Kansas.
Kansas? Oh.
You know I know.
Mel, question. They took you out in the beginning of the fourth? Like, you ain't played
I
none
just
of
played the end of the. My last touchdown was the end of the third, and we had the whole fourth.
Yeah, you would have ran. You probably would have ran for 5.
It would've been
I'm
crazy.
guessing 5.
I mean, Randy was out. It would have got ugly.
Yeah, you would have ran for 5.
It'd have been
Oh,
5
man.
easy.
Now, well, we appreciate you guys coming out, supporting us.
Yeah, appreciate y'all.
Thank you to the Nitty Gritty. Thank you to the BC Connect. Helping us put us all together.
The Nitty.
Definitely have to do this again, sometime soon. Appreciate you guys come checking us out.
Appreciate y'all, boys. Appreciate y'all for having me on.
Yeah, for
man.
sure, always.
This shit feel like game 7. Put lines up through my S's. Wake up in the morning, count my blessings. Feel like heaven. This shit feel like game 7. If I lose, then I'm going home. Is you gon' win or is you gonna fold? Just had a son, I gotta get these goals. When I feel that pressure, that's when I bow the most. Sometimes it's hard to celebrate, cause all the shit we been through just to elevate. Circle closed off in case they ever try to infiltrate. NBA bubble, we ballin', we stayin' safe. I'm higher than heaven's gates, moving at a different pace. And when it's all said and done, be the best to ever play. Hanging plaques on my wall, only time I decorate. Gotta watch out for snakes, cause they trying to eliminate. This shit feel like game 7.